Chapter 70. Tyranny. Well, isn't that a common tale? So common that it hardly needs explaining. As the man spoke, the bandits surreptitiously rose from their seats. When either did not bother to stop them, they swiftly ran to hide behind the man's back. Boss, how did the mission go? I can't make head nor tail of what's going on. Knights showing up, fires breaking out, and now these characters. Something wicked must be afoot. Knights and fire? Amid their whispered conversation, Yidhir picked up these words that tickled his curiosity, causing him to frown. What do you mean by knights and fire? You folks, you came from the capital, didn't you, looking for someone? The bandit leader replied with a counter question. Yidhir noticed a strange energy simmering within the man's intact right eye and hesitated momentarily before nodding. That's correct. Judging from your words, you seem to know something. I wouldn't say knows exactly. I do recall a man dressed like you all visiting a nearby village a few days ago. Devron, Gakane mumbled in a low voice. We don't know his name, but 3 days ago, a sudden fire broke out in that village. By the time it was finally extinguished, after half a day, half the village, including the Lord's castle, has disappeared. Fire? Yudhir recalled that Devron's power was fire-related. An uneasy premonition swept over him, and a mysterious smile emerged on the bandit leader's face, as if to underline his foreboding. The man was captured on the scene as a suspect and was locked up in the prison. I went over there briefly to examine the cause of the fire and the situation in the area, and heard stories related to him. Everyone is buzzing that his execution is imminent. Could Devron really have? What should we do? Jimmy, at a loss for what to do, turned to Yudhir. What he had assumed to be a simple reconnaissance mission had suddenly escalated to an alarming crisis. Yudhir, surprising his shocked expression better than Gakane and Jimmy, calmed his racing mind. Considering the situation, it seemed highly likely that Devron was the arsonist the bandit leader spoke of. However, nothing could be certain until he verified it personally. Moreover, the oddly submissive and friendly demeanor of the bandit leader did not sit well with him. What about the knights you lot were chatting about? It's nothing significant. Just yesterday, knights in shining armor passed through here. My brothers, who intended to collect a toll, were completely taken aback at the sight of them, as it was their first encounter with such distinguished guests. However, it turned out that they were not here because of the fire, but for their internal nightly training. They passed through here to a mountain next to the village where the fire broke out. The bandit leader casually shrugged as he answered. It was a tradition for renowned knight orders to conduct their training in remote rural areas. It appeared that a portion of them had come here. Well, that's all I know. Anything else you want to ask? The leader's soft gaze landed on Yudhir's face. Yudhir felt there was something odd about his eye, but was frustrated as he could not yet pinpoint what it was. You and your henchmen, you plan on being half-baked bandits here indefinitely? Half-baked bandits? Is that how it appears to you? The man retorted in an exaggerated tone, letting out a low chuckle. I was actually considering leaving this place soon. I can't live in the Empire anymore, with my criminal record and all. There's no other way. You make it sound like you had no other choice. Because I genuinely had no choice. A smile surfaced on the leader's face, chilling the observer. It was because his contorted, motionless left side of the face and the cruel yet beautiful right side composed a discerning harmony. None of the brothers here believe they have committed a grave enough crime to warrant their leaving their hometown. Do you think picking someone's pocket on the road warrants death? What nonsense! As Gakane sharply interjected, the leader's right eye turned toward him. His gaze was unbelievably soft. All my brothers were ostracized, falsely accused, and chased away merely for being awakened their abilities. Granted, we had to leave where we were living and ended up like this, but we have our own rules and conscience, unlike those who drove us away. The leader's voice was low and gentle, but at the same time it held an odd strength. Yudhir began to wonder what his power could be. He probably wouldn't tell me, even if I asked. Are you one of those who was driven out? Me? Haha, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Do you think we'll just sit back and watch you guys leave? Gakane cut in, and the leader tilted his head. Then what else can you do? Gakane's eyebrows twitched, as he hadn't expected the leader to retort that way. What? I have given you all the necessary information. If you don't find the person you're looking for right now, that person will be soon executed. Yet, you have time to catch small-time thieves like us? There's a priority in everything, brother. If you try to catch us first, we will resist with all our might. You can't catch 2 rabbits at once. Why am I your brother? If we have the same power, aren't we all brothers, if not sisters? Not making any sense, this guy must be crazy. Yudhir read such thoughts from Gakane's eyes, which turned to her. Definitely cunning. He figured out why we are here in such a short time and played it this way. Moreover, the fact that the leader wasn't wrong provoked Yudhir's wariness even more. Yudhir glanced at the leader's face for a moment, then exhaled briefly. If he used all his power here, he could capture those in front of him, but it was clear that it wouldn't end there, not knowing where the bandits' hideout was. As I said, they were small-time thieves for now, and they don't show hostility towards us. Are you angry or surprised? It's nice to finally see some change in that icy expression of yours. The leader, noticing the slight change in Yudhir's expression, asked with a laugh. I was just thinking. Thinking? How many days do you estimate it would take to solve this matter? Return and round you up all. His voice was soft, but the implications were chilling as well-honed blade. The bandits, who had been lurking behind his leader and watching these proceedings, jumped back with a start, and their eyes met Yudhir's. They instinctively felt that his words were not unjust. Haha, look at that. We have a formidable brother amongst us today. I have no brother like you. That's it, Yudhir. Way to go. Gakane clenched his fist and cheered silently, his face beaming with satisfaction. Shouldn't there be a comeback if there is a departure? We never harm the innocent. My brethren, at my request, do not lay hands on those who share our powers. We are the losers who have lost everything in the past 2 years, and all that's left to us is to flee and survive. Even so, you want to arrest us? His tongue, soft as a velvet snake, stirred guilt that lay dormant. Jimmy appeared to be moved by his words, his face grimacing as if he was about to cry. But who could vouch that his words were true? As long as it was unclear what truths and lies he hid within his cunning words, it was impossible to believe everything he said. Yudhir Ale had seen too many scenes play out to be swayed by such sentimental manipulations. Yudhir stood, blocking Jimmy's view, and spoke. If I were you, I would use the time you're wasting on wordplay to flee further. Don't misconstrue your priorities. It seems that my priorities might change at any moment. At Yudhar's words, the leader's eyes widened a bit and followed with a burst of laughter. Leader, let's go. Why do you keep provoking him? He's not ordinary. You go first. The leader quietly commanded the bandits who tried to hold him back. His voice, following his laughter, was both warm and chilling. Huh? I think I have something more to say to these people. What do you mean? How can we go somewhere without you? How can? I can catch up later. Go back and tell Ersi to leave first. I'll be right there. Leader! The bandits wore confused expressions, but after a moment they nodded. Despite their lack of understanding, their obedience suggested that their leader had their absolute trust. We will wait for you, so make sure to come, leader. As the bandits called out desperately and disappeared, the leader, who had lightly waved his hand at them, turned his body and looked at Yudhar. Despite being left alone, his gaze was unremarkably relaxed. Thank you for not capturing my brethren. There is no need to catch the tail when you can go for the head. Hearing Yudhar's reply, the leader smirked, his left eye gleaming with an inscrutable light in the darkness. So, what is it that you want to say to us?